Shikari here. Today is the Owl House worth watching. Now, normally I tend to stay away from American animated shows. They just don't interest me as much as anime does. That being said, American animated movies are awesome. They're so well done. Up, fantastic. Inside Out was great. Stork, one of my favorite. It's kind of underrated, but is really, really good. Now, there's probably some deep-seated issues as to why I like that one so much. Some deep trauma I could dive into. Not gonna. Repression! The Owl House is a pretty damn good show and honestly might have just turned my whole idea of American animation around. Though it comes off as something not really meant to be taken too seriously and it's kind of just a fun ride to watch, its story is centered around accepting others, accepting yourself, and others for themselves. Psych! It's actually about a delusional teen runaway who gets involved with a crack addict and a cat with a face deformity that probably has rabies. That's the Owl House in a nutshell for you. Do you want to watch this show? I will continue. If this is the first time you've heard about this show, the series just started this year and is available on Disney Plus and other places. And it actually follows a nerdy teen girl who just can't fit in with her peers. Or rather, she doesn't try to. She's kind of weird by traditional standards, always daydreaming of fantasy worlds, and just isn't really present in the real world around her, favoriting her adventurous imagination over the dullness of real life, something I'm sure a lot of us can relate to. Stumbling onto a portal, she ends up in a world that she had only ever dreamt of, and is hell-bent on becoming a witch. But she quickly learns that it's not exactly the dream fantasy world she dreamt of before. Turn to page 394. Sir, our books don't actually go that high. In fact, you didn't even give us any books. This is a menu for takeout food. Good job, Jimmy. That was a test. So I passed? Yes! No, you failed. Burn him. Wait, what? Ah! And that's a pretty good representation of how things work in this show. Now, this show is very surprising. It started off kind of meh, but after a few episodes, it started to grow on me. If it's not an Avatar, Adventure Time, or Rick and Morty, my hype is relatively reserved. And obviously not as gritty and bloody as anime can be, this show does do a great job of delivering a nice wholesome world that you can't help like desecrating a dead body and stealing its babies. You know, kind of like how Disney did with Star Wars, so nothing new. I think that's where the writers got the idea from, actually. The characters are well thought out. One's got a drinking problem, the other one has a Napoleon complex. The main character, Luz, is so deeply delusional, I wouldn't be surprised if all of this was happening in her head. And that's what makes a good show. On top of that, the animation is on point, and though it's lacking a ton of crazy magic fights, when it does happen, it's done pretty flawlessly. Jokes aside, the characters are great, they're lovable, cute, weird, and they're a great reflection of Luz herself. The jokes in the show are ridiculously dumb, and does that mean I'm laughing? Of course it does. Have you seen our end video skits? I live for dumb jokes. If you do too, watch the show. I'm curious about how deep the plot will get, much like Adventure Time, which was already pretty crazy to start off with. It really gets crazier as time progresses. Obviously, they get deeper and deeper into the story, the character, and the world. And I think looking from what this show kind of places itself in, it definitely leaves itself open to some crazy otherworldly things going on. So I'm hoping for good things. I'll continue to watch. If you haven't checked it out, do yourself a favor. Just binge it. It's like, I think 19 episodes out right now. I just binged them all over the past couple days. It was great. End card.
Fade in. Patrick and Eric stand ready to perform for the masses. Patrick is the one that's supposedly black, but is clearly lighter than a graham cracker, so the jury's still out on that. And least we forget, Eric's shum. I've seen more meat on a micro penis, but hey, I'm not here to judge. Take it away, boys. Well, it looks like they've got nothing to say, so like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Fade out.